Hi, I'm Joe Finsternis, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about a movie called Killing Words. So, first of all, this movie is in the Spanish language with English subtitles, and the DVD does not come with an English-speaking dub track, so if you don't like subtitles and you can't speak Spanish, then stay away from this movie. Anyway, the film centers on this man named Ramon, who has got this woman Laura being held hostage in his basement. And one of the first things that he says to her in the film is that he's going to kill her. Now, this would seem like a very straightforward premise for a horror movie, but as the film progresses, there are so many twists and turns in the plot that I would definitely classify this as being more in the thriller genre. And right off the bat, as the film began, I loved the first shot of this movie. It starts off with this one shot that's panning out over the course of a few minutes. And, I've had a few occasions where I've said, right off the bat, I liked this about the movie. And then I went on to name the numerous faults in whatever movie I was talking about. But in the case of this, I actually enjoyed Killing Words all the way through. Regarding the character of Ramon, a few months ago, I saw this documentary where a psychiatrist was interviewing some men who were in prison for multiple homicides, and as those people were talking about killing, they were just very dispassionate and remorseless about it. So, as I was seeing Ramon in this movie, talking about that same subject, I didn't see an actor here. I saw a real-life serial killer. And at the same time, he felt very human in parts. At the beginning of the film, he comes off as being very calm and collected, and he starts toying around with Laura. He plays a game with her and promises that he'll let her call someone if she wins. And I expected, because he was acting so calm and collected, that he was going to end up being a man of his word despite being this deranged lunatic. But when she does win against him, he ends up making excuse after excuse not to grant her the phone call, and he ultimately ends up going back on his word in a very childlike manner. So I like how they kind of humanized him in that way. And Laura herself isn't perfect in this movie. I actually wouldn't consider her to be a hero in any sense. Obviously, she's not as bad as Ramon, but she does have a personal connection with him, and there is a reason why he's doing these things to her. Another thing that I liked about the movie is that there were cutaways involving some policemen that actually didn't bother me. I mentioned during my review of The Perfect Host that when it comes to movies like this, nobody gives a shit about what's going on in the outside world. But in regards to the cutaways here, they do something a little differently, where those scenes are taking place during the present day, and the whole situation between Ramon and Laura took place sometime in the past. These two police investigators are interrogating Ramon, just trying to find out what happened to Laura. And as the film progresses and so many twists and turns are revealed, you yourself as an audience member start to wonder along with them whether Laura was actually killed by this guy or whether she made it out alive. And, as the film reached its climax, I was pretty much speechless. I could imagine some people possibly complaining about the fact that the movie does contain a few plot twists. Personally, I thought it added to the story. I like it when a movie like this, as I'm watching it, I don't know what's going to happen next. It never felt convoluted to me. Now, there was one thing that I was going to complain about. As I was watching this movie, the majority of the film takes place in Ramon's basement, and the setting looks like the den of a serial killer. He has these creepy decorations on his shelves. He has some scary looking pictures up on the wall, and it just felt a little too cliched and obvious for me, but as the film went on, I started to realize that there was a legitimate explanation for why the room had been decorated in that manner. So, in the end, in my opinion, Killing Words is a virtually flawless film. Now, this film came recommended to me by one of my subscribers, and if you're watching this right now, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, so I'm not going to butcher it. And I know that I've already said thank you, but I really do appreciate you bringing this film to my attention because it is one of the best thrillers I've ever seen. I even liked it more than The Vanishing. And to the rest of you out there, if you've got an obscure movie title that, you'd like to bring to my attention and that you'd like to see me review, go ahead and name it, because if it hadn't been for this one subscriber, then I don't think I would have ever heard of the film otherwise. Anyway, in the end, I think it's obvious that Killing Words comes very highly recommended, and that's all I've got to say about it, so I hope you all have a good one.